Hello Taurus, welcome to my channel, and this is going to be your January 2023 reading for Sun, Moon and Rising. We will start off with the sound bowl just to tune into the energy, and there will be an extended at the end of the reading. To access it, if you go to the description box below, click on the link for the extended, and it is an honesty box feature, so if it does resonate with you, there's a PayPal link below with recommendation. So we're looking at January 2023, so Happy New Year. But to begin, we'll do the sound bowl. So if you'd like to take a nice breath in and exhale. All right, Taurus, let us see what January has in store for us. So, I will be doing a classic Celtic cross for the month of January, forgive me. And we're going to also use a traditional deck, good old gilded deck. I'll be cutting the deck as well. Please be mindful that energies are non-gender specific. Take what resonates, leave the rest behind. And of course, if you do like this, I'd be grateful if you could like my video or subscribe. It does help my channel. I also offer personal readings, but that information will be in the description box below as well. So, Taurus, January 2023. Right, your current energy of the month is a Page of Pentacles. The challenge for the month is the Four of Wands. Okay. Sorry, I'm immediately thinking that you have some good news coming in with regards to money or a small sort of venture, even if it's a sideline project, and you see things kind of trickling in. But the challenge is that you're having too much fun, so maybe you might be spending it on fun things. But we will clarify, don't worry. What's in the area of your conscious thoughts is a Page of Swords. Okay. The area of your subconscious thoughts, the Tower. Your immediate past, Justice. Karmic balance. Your immediate future is the Ten of Wands. Your attitude for the month of January is the Queen of Wands. Very nice. Your environment and the people around you, we've got Death, so huge transformations. Area of your hopes and fears, we have Knight of Pentacles. And the outcome for the month is an Eight of Swords. Oh, okay, well, we're gonna see how this all pans out. I'm Taurus too, so the bottom of the deck, we've got the Seven of Swords as well. And we have the Emperor, the Devil, and the Ace of Pentacles, right? So I'm a Taurus too, so I'm quite intrigued as to how this is going to pan out. Right. We're going to clarify with the mini Rider-Waite deck over here. But just to give you a bit of an overview, you're in a good position at the moment. You start the month off in a pretty strong position with that Page of Pentacles. You're starting to see the efforts come on in. The reason why you have is because Justice was your immediate past. So all the work that you put in, you're starting to reap the reward. Justice talks about balance, talks about cause and effect. It could also be some sort of legal situation, but we will also clarify, okay? I do feel that there is going to be the challenge to kind of keep focus with regards to work is the fact that you might be going on holiday, you might be thinking about sort of taking a relationship to a new level and basically just having fun. So I feel like even though you're reaping the rewards, I feel like it's kind of trickling away in all these sort of fun activities, which is not a bad thing, but it is a challenge, okay? Now, in the area of your area of your conscious thoughts, that Page of Swords is kind of like communication backwards and forwards. It could also be children, whereby you kind of, it feels like quite a forceful energy, or perhaps even really picking up on the whole Mercury retrograde, where you're trying to communicate backwards and forwards, but you have a few miscommunications, or things are lost in translation. And it seems to be a bit of a theme, okay? But in the area of your subconscious thought, we've got the Tower moment. So we have a paradigm shift. We have a shock to the system that's happening at a much deeper level. So you might be feeling the energy of, but not quite put your finger on it. And we'll figure out what that is. 10 of Wands is coming, is the immediate future. And it's now finishing off a project. It's finishing off a difficult cycle whereby you've had to hold some, carry some heavy burdens. Okay, could also be work related, but it feels like you're on that final little stretch. Okay, so you're coming to the end of a bit of a cycle as it relates to a project, or maybe even a relationship, but we will clarify. In the area of your attitude, I love it, the Queen of Wands, because she's feisty, she's ballsy, she makes things happen. She doesn't wait for anyone. She charges forward, and there's no stopping her. And so that's the attitude you have towards work at this time. If it's also talking about in elements of love, it could be also that you are very attractive at this time. You're very people just want a piece of you over the month of January, and it's sort of, you're just kind of like people turning heads, okay? But you're kind of standing in your power quite a bit in January, which I really like. There is a huge transformation with regards to your environment. So it could be that you're moving, could be that there's a shift in workplace, but it's the people around you are going through things, and you're finding you're having to adapt to a new set of rules, so to speak. Now, the hopes and fears with that Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles, a slow and steady wins a race. So the desire is that you can plod along and keep the money trickling in, keep the momentum going without getting too bored that it's taking too long. And then the outcome is the Eight of Swords. So there's something that you feel by the end of the month where you feel slightly trapped, but it could be just the mindset that is trapping you. So we will clarify. Okay, I'm gonna shuffle these and pull them out in the same order to clarify. The Fool and the Page of Swords and the Ten of Swords want to jump out there. Right, let's have a look here. We'll talk about the other cards in a moment. Let's just get to this. So, Page of Pentacles, we have Justice again. So, as I was saying before about that's why you're reaping the rewards. You're reaping the rewards of something from the past. Four of Wands, we have Five of Cups. Sorry, it's just because it feels like the challenge of where everything's, a little bit fun and you're enjoying life a bit more. You are maybe regretting spending a bit or taking the time to do it. Right, for the Page of Swords, we have the Moon card, very Mercury energy there, Mercury retrograde. Under the Tower, we have the High Priestess, very nice, I love that. In the Justice, we have King of Swords. Ten of Wands, we have the Two of Swords. Queen of Wands, we have the Hierophant, so you're in a very strong position there. In the Death card, we have Nine of Wands. Knight of Pentacles, we have Eight of Cups. And the Eight of Swords, we have the Four of Swords. Okay. Right. So, in the past, immediate past, there might have been a situation where you had to deal with some sort of legal matter or paperwork, contracts, that sort of thing. But it feels like it was very positively aspected, and it served you well. So you took the time to gain the research that you needed to do. And this could be to do with work, but it could also to do with just kind of normal paperwork as it relates to, passports, marriage stuff. It feels quite personal, more so than workified. But it feels like there was something came into good balance for you, a favorable outcome, and I feel like it's because you did the work, and you're now reaping the rewards. It can also be in a very kind of metaphoric sense, in the way that the things that you've been working on in the past is now paying off. So if you have not been seeing the rewards, I feel like in January you are, okay? Because it's cause and effect. And with the Justice card turning up again with that Page of Pentacles, tells me that justice is paying you back now in a nice positive way, probably monetary, if not then through some sort of material property. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it seems like it's a beginning. So for example, if you've started a new venture recently, or you started it 10 years ago, you may only now start to be seeing the rewards, and it's a little bit, but you can see the momentum, you can see action, you can see it, the wheels turning now, which is really nice. As I was saying before, there is some sort of regret here, because the challenge is at Four of Wands. And the Four of Wands is a beautiful energy. It's like fun, it's work-life balance, things are great, going on holiday, I'm just enjoying life for funness. But there's some regret there, because it could be, because it relates to that Page of Pentacles, it could mean that maybe the money that was trickling in is just as easily trickling out. Okay, so that could be quite difficult in terms of, now that you feel more empowered and more able to go out and have some fun, it costs. Okay, that's the strongest energy I am getting. With the Page of Swords and the Moon, again, feels very Mercury retrograde. It's like all the stuff that you're wanting to now action as it relates to work, the new year, it feels to me like things are getting lost in communication a bit. It's quite a frustrating energy for the month of January for you, whereby you're doing your utmost to get your work done, get your correspondences sorted out, trying to make things happen and get the ball rolling again in the new year. But there is, it's sort of getting either lost in communication. You might be losing some data, you may be losing some files, that sort of stuff, because it makes you, it's not so clear cut. So that is basically the theme. Okay, so again, because it's in the area of your conscious thoughts, it's probably a good idea to be aware of where your thoughts are going, because you don't want that to perpetuate. So even if you just need to take five minutes out and just say, okay, well, let me change my thought process now to see if I can work with the energies rather than against. Now Mercury retrograde as well will also be in the month of January, but it sometimes talks about blasts from the past, but really it's about kind of unfinished business. So it's a perfect time now to either test new ideas, an experimental phase, because it's not going to last long, or to go back on something and just kind of close things off, because Mercury retrograde is a time where we can kind of, anything that wasn't quite complete or brought to closure, you can now do that. And we can see that because we've got that 10 of Wands there. Now, in the area of your subconscious thought, I really love this. The Tower with the High Priestess basically says there is, you're going through a bit of either an awakening or a kind of paradigm shift, where the sense of security that you built up around yourself as it relates to your intuition or your belief systems, there's a shake-up to that. It no longer serves you in the sense that you're not, it doesn't seem correct for you anymore. Now, for some of you, there may be a situation where if you consider yourself to be very, very spiritual and very psychic and very intuitive, it could be that the energy of the cosmos is actually affecting you to a degree where you're not sort of picking up on the same things the way that you used to. It feels like a shift that is happening, and it's going to take you a little bit by surprise. It is for the highest good, because we've got the High Priestess there, but there's it's just kind of a new energy that you are exploring without actually being consciously aware of it. It's like background stuff that's happening, where you're not getting the intuitive hits in the way that you used to. So that's a change for you. I just want to get another card for that, please. Anything else, please, for the Tower? you. We've got 2 that jumped upright. The Hanged Man and 2 of Cups and Temperance. Okay. So we've got 2 very slow, patient cards here, sandwiching the 2 of Cups. And in this position here, you're really talking about kind of your connection to your higher self, okay? Because we've got those 4 major arcanas really. We've got Temperance, Hanged Man, Tower, and the High Priestess. So you really are trying to figure, you're trying to, it feels like a kind of a disjointed energy. And you're just kind of having to like shift into it a bit better. It almost feels like a kind of an activation or an upgrade or whatever you want to call it in your natural intuition, where your instincts and things like that. And it's going to take some time to adjust, even though it may feel like a flick of a switch. Oh wow, I'm not picking up on the things I used to pick up on. It may feel it will take time for you to realign. I know that sounds very cryptic and very spiritual, but that's the biggest message I'm feeling at this time. Okay, moving into the 10 of Wands is your immediate future, but we have the 2 of Swords there. So there's definitely an element of, it feels like you're on that final stretch. You see the finish line with regards to a project, maybe even a relationship. It's like you know you're at the end of some sort of cycle here, and it's been a long time coming, and you're kind of just plodding along. But then we've got this 2 of Swords energy here, which is basically saying there's no movement. Okay, so it feels like you're stuck in an area where you can't actually finish something, which means you can actually begin something. And so you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. It also is an energy of, I have a decision I need to make now, but I don't know which way to go. I don't know what decision to make between, 2 ideas. And what that's telling me is that, well, number one, if you don't make a decision, the universe recognizes that as a decision. But where you're holding that final burden now, and you just can't, it feels like you're stuck in that. And I'm also picking up on that because of this 8 of Swords at the end, the outcome of the month. This feels quite heavily connected to that Mercury retrograde energy I'm picking up on with the Page of Swords. So it feels to me like you're right at the end. You want to close something off, you want to start something new, but because the Page of Swords, the lost communication and the kind of backwards and forwards where nothing is very clear cut, that's the thing that might be also keeping you a little bit stagnant. So it's like you're carrying this heavy load, you're holding on to the responsibilities, but when the hell is it going to end? Okay, I just want to get another card for that, please. Anything else, please, for the 10 of Wands? It's like you're ready to culminate, but it's just not working. Queen of Cups and the 8 of Swords. So it's definitely that stuck energy I was talking about. Okay. Queen of Cups, it feels like that's your energy, but so emotionally you're there, but mentally you can't quite make logic sense of which way to go. There's definitely a stagnant energy. Queen of Cups is also could be somebody else in your environment, but I'm feeling it's more like your energy. So it's a beautiful space to be in. The Queen of Cups is quite, psychic. It's quite all of those things, but you're stuck. So if, for example, you were allowing the universe to present to you the path forward, it feels like you're coming up against a bit of a brick wall, almost to the degree of the universe says, well, no, now you choose. We've presented the options for you, but now it's your time to choose. Because it's pretty stagnant, it's pretty stuck, and it is, I'm sorry to say, self-afflicted. Both of these cards are blindfolded, and both of them are kind of stuck in a particular, in the thought mode, okay? So perhaps intellectualizing too much, analysis paralysis is keeping you kind of held back, where you might need to kind of move more with that heart space. okay? So if you find that things aren't working fast enough for you, you're not seeing the results of your efforts in January, that's probably going to be a sure sign that you are over analyzing it, and maybe it's time to kind of shift the energy to the heart space. So it's that question of head over heart, heart over head. Go with the heart space. I think they'll be very beneficial for you. Queen of Wands with a Hierophant, you are making waves. So making waves with the people around you, and also trying to kind of follow the natural course and order of things. But because the Hierophant also represents organizations, you may even be in a position where within work you're in contact with communities, charities, organizations, even trying to access government funding, that sort of stuff. And it's very lucrative for you. It's very good for you if you are brave and bold. But I do feel like you are harnessing the Queen of Wands energy. So there is, it is very powerful. There's a lot of spirit attached to this. And when I say spirit, I mean that fire, that like energy to get up and get going. I feel like that any of the questions that you have will be answered. So that's also good. Now, with your environment, we've got the Death card and the Nine of Wands. So I'm not going to lie, tricky energy. If there's some sort of shift, if there's some sort of move, physical, if the people around you are changing, if, for example, you've got a best friend who is suddenly leaving town forever, and that's going to change your environment because you always hung out with your friend, you know, that's the energy I'm feeling. It makes you feel, it's very exhausting energy for you. It feels like you've been brought to your knees, that God, I don't know if I could do this. You know, it's that sort of energy, and that's in your environment. So those are the kind of the people around you. It feels like all of those shifts are probably taking many people by surprise, and it's that energy of everyone's moaning, and it's wearing you down, it's wearing you thin in January. But the Nine of Wands also reminds us that even though you are the wounded warrior here, you are still a warrior, and you have more reserves in you than you realize, okay? With your hopes and fears, with the Knight of Pentacles and the Eight of Cups, you are sort of in between that state of like, okay, well, I'm plodding along, but things are happening so slowly. So it's that question of, even though I've worked so hard towards one thing, do I continue? Or do I let it go, release it to the universe, and start something new? And so there's the desire, the hope to actually be able to let something go. And this feels kind of work related, also could affect love as well, but something that has been sort of long time, like ticking over. The question is, or the hope is, well, because I've been working so diligently, am I able to let something go so that I can walk towards my Nine of Cups, which is my absolute wish fulfillment? Or is everything that I've been doing up until now, has it just been reduced to nothing? Again, I'm picking up on this Tower High Priestess energy over here, of it feels like you're kind of in a transitional space as it relates to your direction. And I feel like the reason why you feel kind of uncomfortable is because the intuitive hits that you were getting, the kind of natural tendencies that you were having before, that's having a bit of a shake-up at a much deeper level. So it's really quite difficult to kind of navigate how you're moving forward. The outcome for the month with the Eight of Swords and the Four of Swords is basically, I like this energy because it's healing from energies or areas in your life where you have actually felt trapped, but ultimately it was self-inflicted, self-sabotage energy, and I feel like by the end of the month you're coming into realization that areas where you felt that you were quite trapped in the headspace now is coming to an end. You're healing from that, and you're understanding that from a much deeper level. So a very kind of flowy energy over the month of January, where nothing actually seems as clear cut as it could be. Normally we can have things, you know, us Tauruses, we like to know where we stand all the time. We like to plan. We like things to play out the way we hope and work hard towards it. But it seems like this January for you is going to be a bit challenging in the sense that things aren't really clean cut this month. So we're really having to kind of shift ourselves. Not only is our environment impacted in terms of the people around us, or maybe our actual literal physical environment changes, but nothing, it's like learning a new habit. That's the biggest energy I'm getting for the whole month. It's like having to learn a whole new set of rules as it relates to your physical environment and your emotional environment, your mental environment, and your sense of spirit, your intuition, your connection to your higher self. So it's a very kind of shifty energy, and it's going to be quite difficult to move through that and not allow that to get to you. Okay, ultimately you're charging forward with the Queen of Wands, so I love it, but you're not going to see the results immediately. I think you're just wading through this new energy. Okay, now on the sideline we have the Seven of Swords, the Emperor, the Devil, and the Ace of Pentacles. So I'd be very careful about any sort of toxic energy around you, someone who is presenting themselves as a bit of a divine masculine. Remember, we all have divine feminine and masculine within ourselves, so gender is non-specific. But it feels like someone who would normally ultimately take the lead in something, who seems to be a bit of a go-getter, seems to be a bit of a business owner, whatever that sort of thing is. There could be, there's an offering that's coming in for you, a new beginning. So it could also be related to that blast from the past energy, which is what happens in Mercury retrograde. But it feels to me, I don't like the energy. So it feels, while you're going through a bit of a shifty, shady time in January, I'd be very careful about people returning from the past who want to offer a new beginning, because personally, I don't like it. It looks like toxic energy. It looks like kind of very obsessive energy. It looks like kind of sneaky energy. So I'd be very careful about that. It's very easy for us to sometimes return back to something when you have had some time away from a particular situation, and then all of a sudden you've got rose-tinted glasses about what the past represented. But there seems to be something that's trying to come back in. And I would be just quite cautious about that. Okay, so we'll end the reading off with an oracle card before we move on to the extended. Okay, what does Taurus need to know for January, please, for their highest good? Three cards, but I'll take them all. Okay. Council of Light, Divine Orchestration, Helpers in the Subtle Realm. We have Pleiades, Double Mission, Channeling and Uplifting Humanity. And then Mirror, who or what is triggering you? Okay, so even though it may feel like the month isn't giving you the results, the fast results that you're wanting, it does feel like you're in a really good position in January, but you're not seeing it. So everything is actually happening within at a much deeper level. Divine orchestration, there is, it's the way it's meant to go. You're on the right path, and even though you're not seeing it immediately in front of yourselves, it's like you're learning something new, particularly with that Hierophant card as well. You are accessing more information, but you're just in the process over January of learning how to interpret it, okay? That also coincides with the Pleiades, the Double Mission, Channeling and Uplifting Humanity. So again, it's that accessing higher wisdom, higher information, universal information that is streaming into you, but it's causing a bit of a disruption to your daily life, okay? But that's why it's important to go there. With the Mirror card, I'm really being drawn to two aspects here. One is any sort of toxic energy that returns, any blasts from the past, be very careful of it. I would just stay away, absolutely. But again, it is that pause, that moment to maybe recognize that something hasn't been completely healed, And so maybe you need to just dig a little bit deeper. And so you're basically cleaning away any of the grit, any of the dirt, so that you can access this more light energy, light codes, whatever label you choose to apply to it, okay? The other part of the mirroring aspect is this analysis paralysis, okay? It feels like your mental body, your mind is kind of a little bit on overdrive, okay, because you're trying to make sense of certain things. And I think that's the thing that might be tripping you up this month. Maybe if you can, possibly try to ignore the whys and the what ifs and just sort of move with the energy. And if you find something kind of affecting you like this thing where communication might be going a little bit all over the show and it's not quite clear, it could literally be that this concept of not knowing where you stand is the thing that's really triggering you, you know? So why do you always have to know where you stand? Why do you have to know it all? So these are the kind of things that might be coming up for you in January. All right, so that's all I have for you. I'm going to move on to the extended now, and in the extended I want to look a little bit more at this Ten of Wands energy, where something you feel like stuck and you can't go forward. I want some advice about that. I'm also going to investigate this death card here, this the energy of the people, your environment at the moment, and what is changing for you. So we're going to look quite deep at both those two aspects. And if you're interested in that, go to the description box below, click on the link for the extended, and then the PayPal link after that. But otherwise, have a wonderful January. Good luck. At a deeper level, everything is moving in your favor. So just remember that. But it's going to be a bit of a shady month for you, okay? I'm Taurus too, so I have to deal with it as well. There we go. Let's do it together. Okay, so take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.